Hi everybody, how are we all doing? So another little nighttime vlog from me. Over the last week, what have I been up to? Had an audition on Friday, and then I got some great news towards the end of last week. Yeah, towards the end of last week that my a play that I've written or an excerpt from it is going to be in a scratch night next week. So that's really, really exciting. I've written things in the past, like I helped to write a musical with friends at university. But in terms of writing plays and stuff, this is like my first sort of foray into that. So I don't know if that's the right word, which is useful for a writer. This is my first sort of first play that I've written, so I'm really, really excited that it's been kind of picked up, and going to be developing it over the next week, the weekend. So I've just been thinking about writing and the process and stuff like that. So a few months ago, I went to a writing workshop with Kevin Lee. It was really, really brilliant. I really recommend that you go if you're interested in getting started with writing, or you're at a certain place and you're feeling a bit stuck. It was really, really useful. He kind of set us all these different exercises to learn different techniques and things like that. And yeah, it's really great workshops. That was very helpful. And then I started kind of doing kind of stream of consciousness writing, which is kind of just getting everything down on the page without editing it. I think that's like the best way to do it at first, because then you get all of your thoughts out without editing them as you go. And sometimes says that's how you should do it. He says you should do things stream of consciousness, and if sometimes says it, then I definitely think that's a good idea. So I sort of did that, and then I just been sort of developing it over the past few months, I guess, over a while. I took it to a writers group, which was really helpful, actually, really, really helpful to take it there, because you sort of read it out loud, and as soon as you read it out loud in front of other people, you just realise the bits that work and the bits that just totally don't work. Also, it was just really interesting to get their feedback, and it's kind of scary, like sharing your writing with somebody, because it is, I guess it's a bit like acting and stuff. Like, it does feel a bit like a part of you, a kind of extension of yourself. So it feels quite exposing, quite scary, but it was really good to do it. I'm really, really glad I did it, and everyone was really brilliant, actually, really supportive. They were really great. Thank you, guys. And really helpful, gave me some great feedback. That helped to develop it further. And then just over the last week or so in particular, I've been really developing it, kind of turning some bits that are more monologue based into more dialogue and things like that. So I've been kind of developing it in that way, and it's been interesting to kind of see what that process has been, and finding my own process for that. I'm sure it will change, like every time I write something. I'm sure some things that I do will stick and some things will change. I think the hardest thing is making yourself just sit down and write, just committing to sitting it down and writing. I know some people can write with music on or stuff on in the background. I definitely can't. So I have to turn everything off and then just write. And so what I've been doing is, what I usually do to get me started is to set a timer for 10 minutes. And it's kind of like that bottom line list idea. So you write for 10 minutes, and then you say, okay, that's all I'm going to write for, just 10 minutes. And when it stops, you're meant to stop, but always I find I've got more to say, so I just carry on. And it actually makes you keep going for longer, because you tell yourself you only have to do 10 minutes, and then there's no excuse to fitting it into the day, because you can find 10 minutes. So I found that really useful. Today I did 15 minutes, and every time the timer would run out, I was still writing over, and then I would set for another 15 minutes and another 15 minutes, and then I don't know how long I was writing for in the end, quite a while, I think. But because you just set yourself those 15-minute limits, you kind of trick yourself into thinking it's not that long. So that's really helpful. I think I've been working very much on instinct, like you sort of read it out to yourself and you see things, and when you go back to it after leaving a draft, when you go back to that draft, you just see the things that just don't work. Like you can just see on the page suddenly like, oh no, that doesn't work anymore. Some things if I like them but I just don't think it's going to work for the script for now, I cut them out and then I put them in another Word document, because like I might come back to them later, what like phrases or ideas or descriptive elements or whatever it is, I might come back to it later, so I put them in another document. I'm really excited about this project in particular because I'm going to be working with the director and the cast to kind of develop the piece, and that's really exciting. So it's really great to get their feedback as well. Yeah, it should be really interesting, and I do really enjoy writing, and I do really enjoy that process as well. And I think it's lovely to be creative in a different way. I think sometimes we feel like I have to just be this, or I have to be an actor, I have to be only one thing, and if I'm not 100% devoted to that one thing hello motorbike, if I'm not entirely devoted to that one thing 100% of the time, then like, oh, I'm not, I don't know, like, oh, I'm not devoted to that all the time, so I'm not, it's not my entire life, so I can't want it enough, or do you know, something like that. But I don't believe in that, actually. I think we all have lots of strings to our bows and we should use them. Like, why let them go to waste? If you think you might enjoy something else as well, like, why not do that as well? There's no reason why you can't do other things. And I think everyone has a story inside them. And in that book, The War of Art, the Stephen Pressfield book, he says that almost like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not telling our story and by not writing and not using that creativity and that creative outlet. We're sort of not being true to ourselves. And I sort of agree with that, really. We should use all those things and tell stories in lots of different ways. So yeah, just been really enjoying that. And then it's also interesting times when you just feel kind of blocked, like it might have been yesterday, it might have been last week, I'm not sure when it was, but I felt kind of blocked, and I had been to work for a few hours and I was really tired, and came home and thought, oh, I feel like I should work now, and I sort of did little bits, and then I couldn't even write, like, I couldn't really even compose an email, I couldn't really compose like a tweet, or I don't know, I just couldn't, I was really stuck, and I just thought, you know what, I think your brain just wants to switch off. I think you're tired, you need to switch off. And so I just thought, right, it's just silly, shut my laptop down. It wasn't too late in the end, I think it got a little bit late, but yeah, I shut my computer down. I just said, right, time to stop. I did a couple of meditations, actually. I did end of the day meditation, and I did a sleeping one as well, actually. But I knew that I was really ready to finish the day and to go to sleep when I did the end of the day meditation, and I thought, oh, if this doesn't relax me more, then I'll read. And I was basically asleep by the end of the meditation, so obviously I needed to just switch off and didn't go to sleep. And sometimes I think you have to just listen to that. You have to listen to what your body is telling you. And yeah, and then sometimes when I feel a bit blocked, like I've realised, I think it was this morning, that you can kind of start things off by just writing things down, kind of pen to paper, rather than on a laptop. For me, there's something about, I don't know, it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, I guess it's the same with a laptop, but something about kind of everything, I get this image of like the writing coming out through your hand into that pen, onto that paper. And I suppose it is the same when you're typing, but I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. And I started to sort of write, I have a gratitude journal, and so I wrote down all the things that I was grateful for that morning, and that just kind of started the writing process off in a nice way as well. So I guess I've just been thinking about different ways into writing, and if you're feeling blocked and things like that, yeah, different ways into the process, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where it's going to go. Very excited to get into rehearsals. Really excited and like interested to see what it would be like to be in rehearsals as a writer and not an actor. That's really exciting because I haven't done that since uni. So, and I always did really enjoy it, but I was often like in things as well. So it'd be really exciting to see. It's just going to be like really interesting, I think, to kind of sit on that side of it as a writer. And I like can't wait to see what we're going to create together. I think creating work is really, really exciting. And yeah, I just can't wait, really. I'm really excited for it. I'll probably post some more details about it later on in the week. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Are you writing anything? Are you doing any sort of other creative things? Have you been thinking about, well, maybe you're an actor and you're doing something else, or maybe you're following different creative strands, or how do you think you can use your creativity in different ways? I think we all are creative, or we all have the ability to be creative. It's just whether we sort of listen to that, I think. If you write, how do you get into writing in different ways? What do you do when you have writer's block, when you're stuck? I also went for a walk earlier, just got out of the house, just had a little walk and then came back to things. What do you guys do? So yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear, and speak to you soon. Bye.